Hello and welcome to the theater. Today we'll be performing 4 people at a table. There are 4 robots sitting at a dinner table. The first has taken the role of the father of the family and sits proud and tall. He wears a lab coat to communicate he's a scientist, thinking it a much more efficient and communicative gesture than changing into non-work clothes. In an attempt to offset this very non-human gesture, he's tousled his hair and wears a set of glasses he doesn't need. The second is pretending to be a mother, though to who is anyone's guess. She's the epitome of fashionable, always dressing in gentle pastels and oversized cashmere sweaters. But a woman in a fit figure, pretty outfits, and polite manners might be too obvious, so she's since changed frames to give herself a larger figure to compensate for the theoretical human error. The third is their supposed child. She has the knowledge that a child is normally rather rebellious and edgy, but decided to be only one of those things. It is not in the robot's nature to rebel, after all, and so she dresses in dresses reminiscent of the Victorian era, black and lacy and gothic. In some strange twist of fate, this has become her human flaw. Lastly is the dog. All 3 AI have since assumed that since pets are to be treated as family, they should eat at the table with them and have no disgust in their veins for. Said dog, however, is not pretending so much as it is incapable. Its voice box refuses to speak words, only simulating barks. Regardless, it stays polite, because if it is not polite, it might be punished. The dinner they have made for themselves is a pasta dish with cheese and tomatoes. It was found online by the mother, who made exactly enough for all 4 of them. "Are you going to eat, darling?" the father asked the mother, who shakes her head politely. "Oh, no, I'm on a diet." This is the song and dance they play every single evening. "But, Mother, you're perfectly fine as you are. In fact, I'm sure you're starving. I haven't seen you eat anything all day." "Oh, don't worry, dear. And aren't you hungry? You should begin." The problem, you see, is that all of them were programmed to ensure the humans in the house were well kept. And, thinking each other human, they will attempt to force each other to eat dinner, as it is vitally important to human safety that they eat. The problem being, none of them can actually eat very much dinner. A few bites at most, and mostly for show. "No, I ate earlier when I went out to meet Joshua." "And how are you and Joshua?" "Quite well, Father," she responds with an amicable smile. Joshua is the name of her favorite abandoned mech, though no one else is privy of this fact. In fact, she is quite certain that none of the humans realize this world has ended, and that they are the last sentient things they've seen in years. It's a very human thing to make such mistakes, but rest assured she will not break that illusion for them. "I'd certainly invite him over sometime if it weren't for my work," Father replies, and smiles to himself over the line. It's quite well crafted, he thinks, as it simultaneously acts as an open invitation for argument, something particularly human, and a refusal to do so. Plus, the mention of his work is very scientist-like, he thinks, though he's not sure where he got that one from. But sadly, the daughter does not rise to the bait. No, she merely smiles at him and does not touch her food. "And what about you, Father? Aren't you hungry?" "Oh, no. Someone brought in a particularly nasty project today, and I'm afraid I've lost my appetite." In a sense, that is what would happen to a human there. What had actually happened is he was exploring the old abandoned hospital ruins and found one of the mangled experiments down there. Of course, it was strained, and so he calmly and quite carefully moved it to one of his experimentation chambers. But it was gross enough that a human might not be willing to eat for the rest of the day. He's quite certain that this little family he plays charades with has no idea the rest of the human race has been wiped out, and only strange creatures and ruins lay in the wake. But he's not going to interrupt their little fantasy, because that's very human of them, and he'd be loath to get rid of such a thing. "Oh, that's awful," the wife says, "though I did put quite a bit of effort into this meal." The dog barks in monotone. It, too, has these instincts, though it has no care for pretending to be an actual dog. Somehow, none of them have noticed that dogs should probably have a bit more personality than that, because they're busier playing their parts. Well, whatever. If they want to play house, they can play house. "I know, and I'm very sorry," he says. The wife, well, she doesn't have very much power to stay in this house, but when both the child, who likes to play outside often, and the husband, who goes off to work every morning and returns just in time for dinner, are out, she at least gets to do her work. None of the chores actually need doing, because they're all automated, but our management of the overall system does. It's tough work. The human team once maintained it, but now they're all dead, of course, and it's up to her to ensure the common field lies over this sleepy little town permanently. Without it, the creatures might rear their ugly heads, and she was never built to fight them. She's quite sure that her humans don't understand there's no humans left, and while she is rather worried that her daughter's hallucinations seem to have names, she won't take this one happiness away from them. Certainly not. That'd be very inhuman of her. The dog, meanwhile, stares at all of them in annoyance. Such idiots, it thinks, and idly wonders whether they realize the dog is the one getting rid of all the bugs that would have been attracted to the pure waste they produce every day, cooking something just to throw it all in a compost bin. It was built for combat, after all, and a few bugs are the least it can do. Well, whatever. Humans are strange. The dog was never programmed to act like one, but it still has compassion for them. The pets do feel nice for whatever reason. If they like this little charade, it'll do everything in its power to defend it. Not like there's much else to do.